Hey guys, don't mind the mess, but I felt like making another one of these videos, so I had this cool idea for a shot. I'm going to have a time lapse of me going down to the water, and you're going to love it. Here we go. Well guys, we made it to my spot. I just wanted you to see that walk because I do it like every day because I'm out here a lot to think. And I think the walk's really pretty, especially at this time of year because we're, nearing Halloween and it's very, pretty. Alright. Well, you probably read the title, which I don't know what it is at this moment in time because I haven't written it yet, but probably going to be vaguely along the lines of what I as a 16-year-old think about the human experience right now, because I think about it a lot and I'm very fascinated by it and I'd like to talk about it. So there's this guy Terry Davis that I've been watching a lot of live streams of recently. He's a lot of you probably know him, he's kind of a famous guy, but he's this schizophrenic programmer who made his own operating system, from scratch. I like to imagine Terry's life off camera, like what he's like as a human, because the way he acts on his streams is so fascinating. Like, I can't imagine, and what really frustrates me is I can't imagine what it's like to live like that, but I want nothing more than to know what it's like to live like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very frustrated by not being able to live every life that I want to live. I was talking to my parents recently, and in talking to them, we were talking about what it was like when they started dating. Because I'm in a relationship, and I know how it feels to, date someone for a while, and how it feels to start dating someone. But I don't know, how my parents went through it. Because they were born in 1970, around there, so they grew up in a very different time, and it's endlessly fascinating to me about every facet of what life was like when they grew up. I want to know exactly what it's like to live that life. I want to be born in 1970 and experience a life growing up in 1970s, 80s, and then being an adult in 2000s to 20 whatever, I don't fucking know. But I want to have that life cycle as an experience. I want to be able to pick through it and look at it and peer into different parts of it. This is also, it kind of segues into why I keep or why I try to keep a journal. I like to keep a journal because the only experience I'm having is this one. Even though I want to have all these different experiences, the most I can do is make the most out of this one, because this is the only one I get, as far as I know. So I like to write about what I think, and it's also why I make these videos. This is it's just kind of like a video journal, so I can look back at a time and see what I was like back then. And I've been doing this a lot recently, actually, with different parts of my life. When I started high school was a very difficult time for me, right? And there's a lot of, since I live in this technological age, there's a lot of records of what I was like at those time periods. The best one is like I look through my Discord DM with my best friend to like see what I was saying at the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember doing that. Oh man, I was really acting like that. It's endlessly entertaining for me to go look through all the past areas of myself that I can see through like my camera roll. And it's endlessly fascinating for me to pick through any other life, just like I did when I was talking with my parents, and pick through their life. They had the funniest stories about when they were growing up. I enjoy hearing stories a lot because I'm really fascinated with like any amount of lived experience, like whether they be stories from my parents about when they were dating, or just like when I talk to my girlfriend, for example, and ask about their day. I'm intrigued. I'm like in there because for some reason, like the fact that like a human experienced this and is talking about this, and they kind of give meta commentary on their day, like what they were thinking throughout the day. And I like the meta commentary because you always, I mean for me at least, I always have this line of dialogue running through my head nonstop, just like about whatever I'm doing, or about random things. And I like going back and listening to that meta commentary to see about what I was thinking and what I was doing when I was thinking it. I mean, that's kind of what these videos are. This is like a compilation of all of the meta commentary I've had in my head for like the past couple of weeks. All of the stuff that I've been thinking about. It's just compiled and shoved into this one video, just like the last one was like my thoughts from the past several weeks then. And I mean, at least I want to continue doing these now, and I hope I do in the future. Because looking back at that video, it's like crazy how differently I think. And I hope now, me in the future, whoa, I could talk to me in the future. Okay, me in the future, go back, look through all the logs of what I was like at this time, see if I was as insufferable as I think I was a few months ago. I think something else fascinating that kind of relates to the mind is like neurochemistry. And like I think it's so cool because it's like can there be two identical humans? Like that's like a crazy question. Like if we have identical twins, right? They're obviously not going to be the exact same person because they're going to live slightly different experiences throughout their lives, right? I mean, they're going to look similar, and they'll probably be similar people, but they're not going to be like the identical human. If we were to have, though, two identical twins, and we raised them like the exact same way somehow, could we raise the exact same human? Like, is that a possible thing to do? Where they would react the same in every situation, like as the other person. It's something that I like thinking about a lot, because it's like, is it deterministic, I think is the word I'm looking for. Is, like, neurochemistry deterministic, or is there something innate about it that's, like, not determinable or predictable? Is there no predictability? I think there is predictability, but I think it's impossible to verify. The other part of my fascination about neurochemistry is how drugs interact with the brain. I think it's like super, super cool that like these chemicals we can introduce, and we have been for like thousands of years, we can introduce chemicals into our brain through various ways. We figured out so many ways to do it, to like alter this complex fucking witch's cauldron of chemicals that are in my head right now. And we can like we figured out how to take certain chemicals and put them in there to change how we perceive the world. I think it's so valuable because otherwise, like, I have my lived experience, right? But my lived experience incorporates multiple perspectives. And these perspectives shift, like, over time, right? Because, like, oh my god, there's a ladybug. over time, right? Because when I look back at a few months ago, I had like a slightly different perspective, and then in a few months I'll probably also have a slightly different perspective. But they also shift, I think, with like the use of drugs, right? If you take acid, you're going to be in a completely different headspace, right? I mean, I can't say, I don't speak from experience, but I know that's what happens from a lot of stories, right? That's what happens, is the consensus. And I think having multiple, like even more perspectives through the use of that is like super cool. At least to me. It's super cool to me because I liked having a lot of perspectives and a lot of like information about life to chew on, and a lot of different like sets of teeth to chew it with as my different perspectives, if that makes sense. And I don't know if like other people have this fascination with different headspaces as I do, but it's like you can never truly know another person's headspace, but getting closer is really cool. And I can get really close to my own headspace a long time ago, which I think is really cool, because I know exactly what I was experiencing, because I experienced it, you know? This is not going to make sense. There's this thing I like to do sometimes when I kind of set up my surroundings in a way that they simulate a different time period. Like for instance, at home I have an Xbox 360 on which I play Minecraft while drinking Mountain Dew and watching Dan TDM to kind of simulate. I don't think I ever really had the Xbox 360, but if I was born like a few years earlier, this is what I would have been doing. This is what I would have been doing. I also have like a couple other games for the Xbox. I don't know. I like doing that because like in setting up that area for myself, I kind of cut myself off from the outside world. And I don't know if like, because like if I play a game on my computer, I don't get, you know, as immersed. And I think full immersion is really cool, really important. I've tried simulating earlier eras, but I find little to no success because realistically I just don't know what it was like back then. Like, I would love to hear like some guy that's like 80 years old tell me like about his first time, I don't know, like funny stories about when he was younger, because I just don't know like his lived experience. Like the way I know my experience is through living it, and the way I know other people's experience is only through what the kind of person their experience resulted in. I don't know their actual experience and what experiences made them who they are. And I like to find that out because then I can put reasoning behind why they are the way they are. Something else I find really fascinating is that keeping in mind the thought that every single person you see that's older than you has been your age before, which is to say they have like somewhat of a similar headspace to you, I think. I mean, maybe not identical, not all 16-year-olds think the same, but like I feel like we kind of think pretty similar from my experience. And keeping that thought in mind is really cool to think about how they've changed from who they were then and how I'm going to change from who I am now. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen in the future, but I like to look at my past and figure out why I am the way I am. Look at other people's past, find out why they are the way they are, and react to each new change. I don't care about like predicting who I'm going to be in 10 years because I have no fucking idea. And I don't want to have any idea because I want my experience to be so unique it can't be predictable. Maybe that makes sense? I don't know. You know what I really want is I don't give a fuck about what's after we die, as long as there is a period where, like, my end of life consciousness gets statistics about my life. Like, I want to know how many steps I took. I want to know how many times my heart beat, how many times I said the word fuck, like everything. I want to know every little detail about my life, like every random possible quantification of something I did that, like, I want to know. Something else I find really fascinating is, even though a lot of lives are very different, we all kind of share, like, this human experience. Like, a lot on TikTok, I see videos from people assumedly around my age talking about extremely, like, niche things to remember from your childhood, and I've never felt more called out than, like, we all remember that dream we had when we were 6 and sick, and it was the scariest shit ever. And I had that dream, and I still remember it. And it's a nightmare, so I'm not going to explain it, but I still remember it. And I've, like, even though our lives were probably really different, we still had this shared collective experience and remember it the same way. And I saw a lot of people in the comments as well. So there's so many people that had this one experience, and it's so, like, universal to all these people. I just think it's really cool how, like, these experiences can bring people together that have had this same experience and have different ways of sharing it or different experiences to share about the experience. Anyway, I mean, that's about all I have to say that I can think of for now. If you guys have tips on how to change my state of mind more readily or more and get, I don't know, different mindsets, I don't fucking know, man. Send mindsets to me in the mail at 1516 Evil Avenue. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.